Well, this next story is new tonight, and it's all about teachers. We know this past year has been extremely tough for educators. So tough, a new survey in D.C. found a lot of them were ready to quit their jobs. I'll let John Henry explain.
The D.C. State Board of Education survey reached out to more than 1,000 public and public charter school teachers in the district. The big stat revealed Monday 43% of respondees said they considered leaving the profession as a result of teaching during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Statistic is very striking.
Zachary Parker, president of the D.C. State Board of Education, said their survey was meant to explore teachers and students' experiences this last year. Among other things, the independent elected board wanted to gather stakeholders' thoughts on the return to in-person learning. Parker said the board ultimately found COVID made things worse with some long-standing tensions between teachers and officials.
And many of them expressed through our survey that they did not feel as though they were respected, supported, or negotiated or sought out for their opinion on matters of returning back to in-person.
The board said it also found most teachers surveyed questioned the fairness of evaluation systems in D.C. We've told you before, some teachers have blamed evaluations for leading to a high teacher turnover rate locally. Parker's concerned the survey shows retention is still a big problem.
There is a level of inconsistency that impacts students' learning, parents' experience, or even just the systems and structures themselves in schools.
The State Board will reveal all the survey's findings Wednesday during its public meeting. DCPS declined to comment until the entire survey is released. We're still waiting for a response from the D.C. Public Charter School Board. John Henry, WUSA 9.